Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to check in with you. I flew into Houston this morning, so I'm not in my normal atmosphere. So you may hear some announcements here at the airport, but wanted to share with you this morning about His will. I'll share more at another time, but just kind of like a brief interview or a brief introduction to the topic. You know, Jesus says in Matthew 26. Morning, Land. Jesus says in Matthew 26:39, "Yet not as I will, but as you will." And you know, there are so many scriptures that Jesus talks this way, that Jesus says things like this. And Jesus's heart was always about God's will. Jesus's heart was always about, I speak what my Father wants me to speak. I share what my Father wants me to share. Hi, Holly. Hi, Kelsey. And really, his heart is all about God. And so there's a section of scripture that I pray through every day that I thought might help y'all. It's in Colossians 1, it's 9 through 14. And if you break it down and do it per sentence, it's an amazing way to pray. So in Colossians 1:9, it says, "Ask God to fill you with the knowledge of His will through all wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives." So you're asking God, number one, and I always ask Him in Jesus' name to fill me with the knowledge of His will. What is your will? What do you want me to do? What is going to please you? How can I honor you? And it's obviously coming through the wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives us. It's not something that we can get on our own. It's something that we're getting from Him. And then in verse 10 it says, so that, or I'm doing this, I'm asking God to show me His will and to use the Spirit to give me wisdom and understanding so that I may live a life worthy of the Lord. So the whole point of me learning God's will, getting wisdom and understanding, is so that I will live a life worthy of the Lord and please Him in every way, it says. And the Lord being Jesus and God. And then in verse 11 it says that you'll bear fruit in every good work, you'll grow in the knowledge of God, you'll be strengthened with the power according to His glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience. And this one really caught me. I'm going to do a live one day on the word endure, but endure became a very important thing to me when I was going through a really hard time in my life, a really hard situation. And so when you look at this sentence, it's like, God, help me grow. Help me do your work. Help me grow in my knowledge of you. Give me your power according to your will so that I can have great endurance and patience. And what I pray about is having endurance and patience with myself, because we beat ourselves up. Some of us beat ourselves up a lot. Some of us are hard on ourselves. I pray for endurance and patience with other people, because usually our struggles that we go through have to do with situations with other people in our life. And I pray for endurance and patience with God so that I won't give up on Him, so that I won't quit, so that I won't back down, so that I won't shrink, so that I won't be timid. I pray for Him to give me endurance and patience with myself, with others, and with Him. And then when you go on to verse 12, it says, and giving joyful thanks to the Father. I love that, because if you have listened to any of the other things I've done in the last couple of days about learning to see Him as your Father, learning to accept Him as your Father, learning to fall in love with Him as your Father and be grateful for Him as your Father, the more you're filled with faith, the more you get to know Him, the more gratitude you feel, the more humility that you experience. You can't help but be filled with joy. I can't help but have joyful thanks. Be just literally like a little girl jumping up and down with joy because of all the things that He has done in my life and all the ways that He blesses my life. I can't help but have joyful thanks. And then it goes on to say, to the Father who has qualified you to share in His inheritance of His holy people in the kingdom of light. So a lot of times we don't think about the fact that He has qualified us. He has guaranteed us. He has promised us. He has rescued us. He has saved us. And all the things that he has done for us to enable us and to provide for us this opportunity to be with him. So he has qualified us. So I thank him while I'm doing this and praying through this scripture about how he has qualified me. He has made it possible for me to be given the inheritance. And when I get to another section and talk more about the adoption that we have as children, just really that we've been given an inheritance, an opportunity to have an inheritance. It's kind of like, imagine the richest person in the world saying, okay, I'm going to take you into my family and I'm going to give you all of the riches of the world. I'm going to give you all of the blessings you can imagine. I'm going to make everything in the world available to you. Everything from mansions and private jets and multiple houses around the world, and anything that your heart could imagine or anything your mind could think of, I'm going to make it possible for you. And it's the same way. God is giving us an inheritance, and he says an inheritance of his holy people in the kingdom of light. So he's giving us an inheritance in the fellowship, and hopefully you are in a fellowship that are people that are striving to do the same thing that we've been talking about. And if not, we can help you find a fellowship that does that. But basically, that you have the inheritance from him, and you also have an inheritance here in this world among the people who you are in relationship with, who are striving to do the same things that you're striving to do and live in a way to honor and please God. And then he says, for he has rescued us from the dominion of darkness. And this is a big one for me, because when I started realizing how he saved me and what he saved me from, and that he saved me from myself, he saved me from my sin, he saved me from Satan, he saved me from situations with other people. And really the gratitude and the joy can't help but come when we start recognizing what we have been rescued from. And it says he rescued us from the dominion of darkness. And I can tell you, in my life, with a lot of the things that I've been through, I have felt that. I have felt that I have been in the dominion of darkness. I have felt, I have looked in Satan's eyes in people and situations that I've been in, and I understand very, very clearly what he has rescued me from. And think about, what if he's rescued you from addiction? What if he has rescued you from abuse? What if he has rescued you from a horrible whatever situation at work? Think about the things he has rescued you from, and that he has also rescued you from the dominion of darkness. If you have gone through the process of allowing him to actually save you in going through that process. And it says he's brought you into the kingdom of the Son that he loves. And I'll talk more about this in another live, because that's definitely a longer one, about the kingdom that Jesus set up when he was here with the disciples in the New Testament. And he talks about that Jesus brought the kingdom here. Jesus started the kingdom here. And it's a kingdom that we're meant to be a part of here. And it's a kingdom that we will be meant to be a part of in heaven. That we need to be a part of it here, and then we'll be a part of it in heaven. But he sets it up here. And he talks about how through Jesus we have redemption and the forgiveness of sins. Again, there are so many things in this scripture that are literally full day classes or full day sections that I could teach on. And just what Jesus brought is that Jesus came to save. Jesus came to rescue us. Jesus came to pull us out of that darkness and into the light. Jesus came so that we could have life. Jesus came so that we could be forgiven. Jesus came so that we could have a way to overcome ourselves and our sin, and to provide a way out. Basically, he came and brought an escape route for us. And it's incredible when you start thinking about this, of all the things that he provided. And I think this goes along with some of the other stuff that we've been talking about, and just helping you set your mind on him as our Father and what he's providing for us. And again, there's so much in this. I'll wind up doing specific classes or specific topics one by one of some of these things, only because there's so much meat in this one scripture. And for those of you, hi everybody, hi Rudy, who have just joined recently, we're talking about Colossians 1, 9 through 14. And just really the whole purpose of this is talking about what His will is. And what I would love to encourage you, and I would love to work with you on, and the thing that I strive for every day, and literally what I would love written on my tomb, truthfully, what I would love at the end of my life, when it's all over and said and done, what would I want to be said about myself, is Matthew 26:39. What I started with is Jesus' heart of, not my will, but your will be done. That's what I want to be known for. That's who I want to be. That's the heart I want to have. That's hopefully what I will be able to share with you. And I'm looking for my tribe. I'm looking for those people out there. We have 5,000 followers on Facebook. So I'm looking for those people that have a heart for God. I'm looking for those people who desire to do His will, who desire to honor Him, who desire to please Him, who desire to follow Him, who desire to obey Him. And I am excited about the opportunity of reaching thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are interested in drawing nearer to Him and taking this walk on this journey through obedience and through building their relationship with God. I hope this encourages you guys. Again, I'm sitting in the airport in Houston. I just got into town, and so this one's kind of short and sweet today because I'm not in my normal setting. But I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking with you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.